Bob Katter, you said at the start of this campaign, or you predicted that your party would poll better than Pauline Hanson's One Nation over a decade ago. That hasn't happened. You've got about 12% of the primary vote and you've only secured 2 seats. It hasn't gone particularly well.
No, we've secured 3 seats. I think that's fairly confidently we can claim. Thurron Gower, the ALP allocated preferences. They put out a ballot paper with preferences on it in that seat. I don't want to,
Even still,
3's not fantastic. But no, we have established ourselves now as a very real force. In 15 seats, we were over 20%. I'd say in 30 or 40 seats, we were over 15%, obviously, and we didn't contest 13 seats.
You've lost the state leader of your party, though, in Aidan McClendon in Beaudesert. What does that mean?
There was no surprise to us. Aidan was on 16% at the start when we amalgamated the parties and we started our party effectively. He fought back and he picked up 11%. It was a tigerish and very laudable performance on his part, but it wasn't good enough to pull back the lead that the LNP had.
So we've established
a third force in Queensland politics. But I would say we're the opposition. I mean, there are 2 parties that are both free market, both pro-Woolworths, both coal seam gas, both in favour of bringing overseas foreign workers in to work our coal fields. We are exact opposite in every one of these. So now the Australian people have an alternative on preferential voting. Remember, this is optional preferential. On compulsory preferential voting, we would win 7 seats on those figures that I've seen tonight. I may be proved wrong because I haven't had time to analyse them properly, but we would win 7 to 12 seats.
One of the key points of difference...
You take up my point. We're a very formidable force now.
I'd like to move on to policy area. One of the key points of difference was coal seam gas between Katter's Australian Party and the major parties. Why hasn't that apparently resonated in more seats?
I think that is absolutely true. Aidan emphasised that, but it wasn't an issue. At the end of the day, clearly it wasn't an issue. He was the fighter and the tiger on that, and God bless him for it. But all of our aquifers in Queensland are now open to drilling. The LNP leader has made that quite clear. So regional Australia will unfortunately and sadly pay a terrible price for that decision tonight.
We've got a 3rd generation Katter going into politics now with your son securing Mount Isa. What can we expect from him?
Pretty tough boy. He signed for the Cowboys at one stage.
He's not quite like you though, is he? He's not quite as colourful and outspoken.
He's only very, very young. I wasn't colourful and outspoken, and when I was his age, I can assure you.
Going on tonight's results, do you want to set up Katter's Australian parties in other states, federally? What is your plan?
We're already planning that right now. And there are most certainly 3, arguably 7 seats in New South Wales within our gun sites. But here in Queensland tonight, we've already established that on the figures that I've seen, and I must emphasise that I've not had time to sit down and analyse them, we would win 7 seats in Queensland. If we win 2 or 3 seats in another state, then most parliaments for the last 30 years, we'd have the balance of power, and we would use that muscle with enormous conviction and force.
All right, Mr. Katter, thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. God bless all the listeners, and thank you very much for the people that worked so hard for the cause today. There is another force and another way out there. We've offered an alternative.